Hey y'all, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Cool. I hope y'all are doing well too. Yes, please. If you have a question, feel free to leave it in the chat. And we'll see what we got going on here. Check it out, dude. Thank you. It's got a tail too. Alright, y'all. Let's see what we can get into. Okay, Alessandra. What's coming for me and Francisco? That's what I don't have with me right now. My Romance Angels deck. Let me go get it. I see it right there. Multiple decks are fun sometimes. Like, they can give you... Yes, dude. It is a legit tail because I am a giraffe. I'm going to do some tarot on this first, and I'm just going to get centered right quick. Man, I saw, I don't know where you live, but I saw these big, tall skyscraper buildings with, like trees. There's something characteristic to trees in this space. So I don't know if you're moving with this person or you're taking a trip somewhere where there is this type of environment or something. It kind of almost looked like, I don't think I've been to Washington, but that's what I would imagine like Washington or Seattle looking like, or something like that. I'm going to pull some cards too. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming and hanging out. If you have a question, feel free to leave it in the chat, and I'll try my best to get to it. Right now we're on Alessandra asking what is coming for them and Francisco. That's what I saw, though. Definitely kind of coming into your own, where it's like, yeah, this is actually kind of a setting up house. I don't really know what that means because I don't really use that phrase, but it's an opportunity actually to be growing together because you understand what you want separately. And there is this aspect here of making something, either making something a home or being stable in the sense that you each know what you want individually, which like brings about this aspect of being able to take on new opportunities because you're not getting kind of convoluted in trying to make each other's stuff your stuff personally. So there's this aspect of being able to be stable within your relationship with this person in a new way, because you individually understand how to stabilize yourselves. I want to get my phone right quick so I can keep up with the chat right quick. You know what's so crazy is like I haven't done any readings in a while because I've really been working on this fear I have of the unknown that is part karmic. And when I was just kind of grounding myself right when you asked me a question, I felt this like intense pressure, like right on the top of my head. So, sorry, folks, I'm just looking for the my video because I want to be able to keep up with the chat and be able to look at it too. Okay. Okay, so I'm reading. Alessandra says, he brings out the best in me. I'm not sure how to explain it. That's really cool. And I really feel that. It's definitely like what's showing up here. I'm going to pull some Love Angels cards. There's definitely this thing here about being more settled or getting more settled. And it's just, I don't see it as something that is Xena. Are you asking me if I'm a Taurus? If you're asking me, yes, I'm a Taurus. It's just something that seems to add rather than taking away. I'm just going to pull some Love Angels right quick for Alessandra and Francisco. This is interesting. So the first one that came up is deception. Someone is wearing a false mask in the relationship. This could just mean, this doesn't necessarily mean that, there's like an aspect of cheating or blatant lying or something. Sometimes people can, when they're getting close to somebody else, they can struggle with losing certain facades that they put on for other people. In a relationship, when you have a relationship with anyone, no matter what you want to call it, it's just a connection. And when you're with somebody else or around other people, you see a reflection of yourself. And a lot of times what you see is stuff that you don't necessarily want to look at when you're alone, but you see it in your reactions to how other people respond to you. They could be doing their own thing, but you're interpreting what they're doing in a specific way because you have certain things going on within you that maybe you haven't been paying attention to, or you don't want to look at, or maybe you have been working on these things and you're seeing them show up in your reflection with this person. You also got children. Your love life is being affected by children. And you got very soon. Clearly decide what it is that you want so that it comes to you now. Thank you for your question, Alessandra. Tiana, what is coming for me in love? Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out. I'm just going through the questions and that's what's up, dude. Thanks for asking a question. I'm just going through the questions in order of who posted what. Like basically from the top of the chat to the bottom. So Tiana says, what's coming for me in love? I gotta tell y'all what's going on with me right now, because this is a wild feeling. I gotta tell y'all what's going on right now. I'm gonna get to Tiana's question, but I haven't done, like I was saying, I haven't done readings in a while, because I've really been working on myself and working on this fear that is karmic, that has to do with delving into the unknown. And as I'm grounding myself right now, it starts as this pressure, like here. And then there's just like this energy that just moves through my body and it just feels like tingling. And it's just the coolest thing. It like semi feels like I'm about to pass out. And it's also very chill at the same time. It's really cool. So Tiana says, what's coming for me in love? Let me... Man, this feeling is so intense. I don't know what to make of it. Tamara, do you like beaches or smells that have this watery smell? I'm not sure, but it smells almost pure and ocean-like. It's my favorite smell ever. And I kind of live by the beach. I live in California, and I just stepped outside to smell it because when you live by the beach, it like at nighttime, everything is just a cloud. It's like you're in a giant cloud, and the cloud like carries that smell with you. So it's interesting that you asked that, Tamara, because that's literally was I was outside right before this, was smelling that, because it's my favorite thing ever. Do you like that? So the image that I got, I'm really overwhelmed by, not overwhelmed, but this, what I'm experiencing. I don't even remember experiencing this when I was little and I was doing readings. But I'll tell you what I saw was, it was like a jeweled crown, like a jewel encrusted crown. And it had like this heart in the middle here. So there wasn't too much of a feeling that came with it, but in relation to your question, man, I either want to say that there might be somebody coming along that makes you feel like royalty, or what I really want to say is that you understand how to give yourself everything that you're looking for in a relationship that you're wanting with somebody else. And when you start giving yourself what it is that you feel that you are missing or even just wanting, in a relationship with another is when you attract that type of person to you. And I know this from personal experience because that's who I'm with right now. She's my absolute twin. And that has not happened to me before. And it didn't start, that person didn't come around until I was like, hold up. I don't even understand what it means for me to value myself. I keep looking for somebody to give me value. I keep looking for things outside of myself, thinking that what this person thinks of me and how this person treats me is going to be an indicator for me of my value. But it's always fleeting. And the moment, literally the second that I was like, I'm going to try to understand what it means for me to value myself, a week later, this person walks into my life out of nowhere. And that was almost 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And it's amazing. But that's what I feel. I feel that there's this thing here where you think about, like, what is it that I'm looking for? And you start to give that thing to yourself, and then you attract that person into your life. And I'm still pulling some cards here. Okay. Do you see this person? They have a crown. I've got chills all over my body right now. They have a crown and it has jewels all over it. It has stars all over it. This person right here is somebody who understands what they want and what they need because they give everything to themselves. Oh, man. They're able to manifest everything they want because they're not worried about the outcome. They're very much into using their imagination to dream up the best possible scenario for themselves, which is something that we all have the ability to do because we are all the creators. We are all creators, but we all create our reality. We're all like mini gods, really. We are all source. We're all energy. And so we all have this ability to use our imagination, which is a tool. It's an actual tool to attract, to use the universal laws like the law of resonance, aka the law of attraction, to attract what we're thinking about, but more importantly, the feeling that we're going after. So what you do is you imagine what it is that you want, and you imagine, more importantly, how you feel if you had that thing right now, and you try and feel it as if you had it right now. Like, if I were with this person, you can imagine, you laughing with this person, and you're doing whatever it is that you like to do, that you're like, oh man, this person would really like this too, and we're having this awesome time. And you can imagine yourself just feeling so like connected. You imagine that you're feeling that right now. You ground that into the right now, because you also need to use the present moment to your advantage, because the present moment is where you make everything happen. It's where you have access to all solutions. It's not in the past, which is a made up time space. The concept of time is a concept. When you think in terms of the past and the future, you're bringing in that concept. The present right now is timeless. It's in alignment with all planes of existence, all dimensions. And that's where you have access to your ability as a creator to gather and attract the energies that you're cultivating in your mind and with what you're feeling. And you become a point of concentration for those specific energies. And that's when the person comes around. If you've been daydreaming about a person, I just looked at my timer. It's at 20:44. 20 minutes and 44 seconds. 44 and 22 are numbers that come up for me a lot. That's another thing. You'll know that there's no right or wrong track, but you'll know that you're in alignment with yourself when you start noticing synchronicities. And for me, synchronicities are numbers like I see the number 44 all the time and the number 22 all the time. So, man, this is crazy because for me, I'm talking about manifesting right now, right? And what I've been doing is what I just explained to y'all. But for my situation, I've been wanting to regain access to my intuitive abilities, which have been blocked because of the fear that I have that carried over from previous lifetimes. And so every day when I feel like it, right? When I feel like it, I imagine myself doing a reading for somebody. And I imagine that, man, this feels so easy to do. There's no blockage. It feels so good. And it feels so flowing. And now that's what's happening. Like right now, that's what's happening. So this is real, you know? So I'm going to pull some angel cards, and then you can do what you want with the information that I just told you, that I just provided for you. Man, this is wild. If y'all are interested in understanding manifestation more, and it's not necessarily about manifesting something in the physical plane. Like, yes, that is a result. It's really about manifesting the feeling, because when you get the thing, when it manifests in your life, what you're really stoked about is the good feeling that you feel. So I'm going to put in the comments right now, if you're interested in learning more about accessing your abilities as a creator of your life, I want y'all to check out Esther Hicks. And then I want you to look at Roxy Talks. You can find both of these folks on YouTube. Alright, so we're going to pull some love angels to finish up Taina's question. Yeah, Tamara, I think you'll definitely feel them, dude. This is crazy, dude. So we've got finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. We've got children. Your love life is being affected by children. And you've got you deserve love. You are lovable. So that actually brings me back to this and the vision that I had that I was describing about the crown with the jewels encrusted in it, which is what this person is wearing right here. This person is able to be completely in a space of, what do I want to say? It's not just daydreaming, but it is in a space of using their imagination because they know how powerful it is in manifesting what they want. They're able to do that so clearly because they understand what it means to value themselves. They love themselves and they understand for them what that means for them. And that's just something I've I've experienced that you kind of need to do before you bring in that perfect person that you're wanting. Or else you're just going to keep bringing in duds. They're going to be a reflection of your current energy. And if your current energy is that you're very disrespectful to yourself, you don't value yourself, you're going to meet people that show you that. So that's what this is talking about. You are lovable. You deserve love. This is more about you right now than about the perfect person coming in. You got to get that straight first. And maybe you do. Maybe you do understand that. But this is just what I'm understanding from the energies that I've been receiving. All right, everybody. Thank you, Taina, for your question. If you've made a donation, just try to get my attention. That's really rad. If you've made a donation, that would be really cool. But just try and get my attention. Yeah, my name is Rachel. Yeah. Because I'm just still going in order and I'm looking at 2 screens. So I will get to you. Just try and get my attention and I'll keep an eye out. So thank you everybody for joining and hanging out. And oh man, I'm just having the most incredible experiences tonight. So, when Bria lets me know if they've donated or not, then I will get to their question. For now, I am looking at GD. Hi, GD. Man, I'm doing awesome. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well. Oh, y'all, I have some tea that I completely forgot about. What ups? Oh, wow, I really want to be able to say your name correctly. Sarabjit. Please let me know if I have not said that correctly. Brea. I'm going to get to Brea's right quick, and then GD, you'll be right after. All right, Brea. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm going to give them a second to post their question. And I'm going to drink some tea, dude. Man. Wow. Wild, dude. Wild. How will my online hair business do? What's your hair business called, Bria? Cool. So I imagine that there's like this aspect here of I've been planning this, I've been waiting kind of on the sidelines, kind of on the back burner, just seeing how this would play out, wondering how this is going to play out. I'm waiting, and um, there's almost this aspect of kind of hanging back, which is interesting because I imagine if you were running a business, you'd be kind of at the forefront. There's a sudden change to some idea that seemed kind of pertinent or really important to this business. There's a change that you kind of have to adapt to right quick, and it's for the better. um, I think it may be something that the things are very trial and error right now, and so that's kind of to be expected, but it's nothing bad. um, it just might feel like, oh, this is going completely different than how I would have thought that this was going to happen. But that's not a bad thing. I actually think it's for the better. It's just kind of jolting. It feels a little jolting. I want to see something right quick. What is this? 12. There's definitely some kind of perspective shift in panic attacks because it's new. I totally understand that. I think that's just to be expected. You've been a teacher for years. This is definitely going to feel very different, but it's excellent because I think it's just a part of you that has not been tapped into yet, but is there. The creation is there. And I think that goes within the name. And maybe that's why I asked what it was called. Um, because it is a creation. It's something new. It's completely different than the foundation that you've built thus far. But again, that's not a bad thing. Taking a step back, maybe, and not being so like everything has to be looking like this and it has to be going like this, or else that just means that everything's falling apart. Sometimes it's good to let things fall away that are not working with whatever's going on. And sometimes just being with what is, just kind of like the isness of your situation, and not, being stuck in your mind of certain beliefs that you have, or certain ways that you've done things thus far. trying to steer clear of that and being adaptable. That's what it is. Being adaptable is what's key right now, because it's going to kind of seem like things are kind of crumbling, but it's not. It's not the same type of crumbling where things are completely falling apart for you. It's like all of the things up to this point that things are kind of falling away and taking a step back so you can have the new perspective that comes with being having the adaptability, will allow you to like quickly make these adjustments, because this is going to be great for you, honestly. um, it's in the name, to be honest with you. It's a creation. Yes, adaptable. um, I kind of want to pull. Ooh, it's like this aspect of you that hasn't been tapped into, or um, maybe it has, but it's just requiring um, a new, like allowing of a new perspective. Um, just kind of taking a step back to gain some clarity. Like, what did this say? This is like, let me just read this to you real quick. I like the way they put this. Um, life is on hold and you're in a state of temporary suspension as you await a new insight and clarity. Step back and look at life from a different perspective. So basically everything that we just talked about. I am currently pulling you some cards from Soul Truth so we can, I want to try and speak to your soul directly, because your soul always knows what the best thing it is for you to be doing. And you can usually tell if a thought that you're thinking is in alignment with you, because you'll get a feeling that feels good. Stop being scared to come out. Yes, it's very, very that. It's very that. Any limiting thought, any belief that what's up, Manya? I thought I might see you tonight. Any thought that you are thinking in relation to whatever it is that you're trying to create in your instance is this this shop, this online thing. If you think a thought and you feel something bad, I would question that thought and be like, how much of this is generated by fear? How much of this is generated by my association with the past? How much of this is generated by social conditioning? And when you start to believe in yourself and you start expecting good things for yourself and you start thinking good things for yourself, you'll feel good. And that's when you know that that you're in alignment with, that your thoughts are in alignment with you, and then you can take inspired action from that space. This is definitely going to be a peeling away of maybe certain beliefs or thought patterns that are could be holding you back from allowing you to just be fully creative in this. Which, man, that's totally normal, dude. We're all under social conditioning, societal conditioning. So let me see. Any advice for Bria? Does my life have room for more pleasure and play? In what area are you lacking pleasure right now? Maybe in certain relationships or with work. Is it possible to shift the seriousness of life to experiencing a more creative, wild, and playful side of you? That's what we were just talking about. Today's soul action. What would happen if you added more play and laughter into your life? What area is lacking this right now? Take time to play. Let go of any need to produce anything. I feel that actually. And I would get this card when I would be in a space of wanting to create and I was running into a lot of like fear-based thinking. And then I would get this card and it would really piss me off because I'd be like, no, I need to just focus and stay in the trenches and just keep going, doing. And that was actually keeping me more stuck and keeping me more fearful. So it really wasn't until I started to try and relax. It wasn't until I started to try and have more fun and do other things that I enjoyed. That doesn't mean that I'm failing at the thing that I'm trying to create. It means that I'm actually allowing that creation to take place. Creation and allowing more have to do more with being rather than doing. Sometimes doing is more of a, a fear-based thing. It's more of like a conditioned thing that we've been conditioned to do. So taking some time to try and relax into the present moment is actually where you get um, that inspiration, and then you take action on that inspiration. It's actually where you're going to get that clarity that we were talking about. So I highly recommend it, dude. I want to pull some more for you. Letting go. Use your imagination to your advantage and be there fully. Feel the feeling as if it was happening right now, and then let it go. And then try to relax into your present moment as best you can and be grateful for whatever is happening around you. Because if you're spending your time in a state of worry and lack, that's what you're going to attract. Those are the types of experiences you're going to have. Any more advice for Priya? This looks wonderful, dude, because you're really going to get some solid clarity. Check this out. Am I on the right path? Sometimes we second guess what we are doing. We lose trust in the process and question if we are even on the right path at all. Know this. I'm getting chills all over my body. You are on the right path. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep remembering that you made a soul contract that you are currently fulfilling in every area of your life. Even if you can't see it, that doesn't mean it's not real. This is the realest shit I have ever understood. What you see happening right now is not the whole story. We live moment to moment. You don't know how things are going to play out, so you don't need to decide that something is going to turn out in such and such way just because your mind, your fear-based aspect of your mind is telling you, well, things in the past happened like this, so that's how they're going to happen in the future. You have no idea how things are going to play out. So that's why I say, even if you can't see it, that doesn't mean it's not real. You don't know how things are taking shape energetically and how they're being attracted to you based on the way that you are thinking. And more importantly, what you're feeling. And again, if you want to get some more understanding about how to be a more conscious creator, because that's what we are, we're creators. And you can use the law of resonance. You can use the universe, because we are made out of the same shit that the universe is made out of. That these cards are made out of, that this laptop is made out of, that my hand is made out of. It's all the same shit. It's all energy. I recommend Esther Hicks, and check out Roxy Talks. And those, you can find both of those people on YouTube. Today's soul action. Today's search for all the ways that you are aligned with your soul's purpose. We talked about how you can use your emotions to gauge whether or not the thoughts that you're thinking are in alignment with who you truly are. The signs will appear. Look for synchronicities. For me, it's numbers a lot of the time. It'll be like 44 or 22 for me. This newfound trust will fuel your next steps. Okay, so this looks awesome, dude. This looks great. You can use your mind as a tool to be in coherence with your heart. You always see 444. That's what's up, dude. That's tight. I know I see some people sometimes being like, kill your ego. You just got to kill your ego. Well, if I am love and I love myself, why would I want to kill any part of myself? You have allowed your ego to be conditioned, whether it was subconsciously through societal conditioning or you consciously agreed to the things that you believe right now. Either way, that you allowed it. And taking responsibility for your life is looking at the things that you agreed to subconsciously or consciously and being like, do I actually agree with those things right now? Do those things actually align with me? And it's going to be different for everybody, because everybody resonates with different things differently. So your ego is not your enemy. You've just allowed it to get so inflated with fear-based shit that it now thinks that that's your normal. The ego is a tool. It's like a memory device, kind of like a memory device in a computer. And it can be used to help ground you in the now, so that you can direct your energies, used in combination with just being present, which is very different than doing. Being, there's no thought. There's no thought process. So, thank you so much, Bria, for taking the time with me and for connecting with me. It's super dope. And man, my I gotta tell y'all, like, I have been visualizing coming back and doing a reading for people. And in my mind, I'll tell you how I did it. I explained it a little bit ago, but I'll do it again. Like, every day when I feel like it, when it feels like enjoyable to me, I'll use my imagination to imagine that I'm giving a reading to somebody. And I'm imagining, sometimes I'll imagine like a beam of light just like coming into my head. And I focus more on the feeling of it being so fluid and it's so easy, and I'm laughing and I'm having a good time with this person, and as if it's happening to me right now. That's how I do it. And that's what's happening right now. So let me be permission for you to believe in yourself. Use my experience, borrow it from me. I'm glad to share it. Okay, so thank you for hanging in there, everybody. It looks like I've got some donations. So I'm going to, I just want to make sure that I get those folks. I appreciate y'all being patient with me. It is like fucking insane the sensations that I am feeling throughout my body right now, man. Gotta stay hydrated. Gotta stay hydrated. I'm still in a human body. Oh my god, Manya, thank you so much. One for the donations, and then two for listing the donations. That's very helpful. Thank you. So Tamara, should I call these executive numbers to record labels for my singing career? Ooh, fun. My spirit team has been showing 777, 77, 444, 555, 333, 222. Such a gang of synchronicities all the time recently, and butterflies specifically. You're in alignment as fuck. I told them to please show me the way. I did a little searching and found these numbers to record labels and executives, but they keep saying to call them, even though I have no studio recorded music. I write my songs and sing them, but they said to call them. And recently, I found this beat app where you can buy or download these beats. I'm just confused. Wow. So, it sounds like there is a lot of movement going on here. I'm just going based off of what you've told me and the synchronicities that you're having and these experiences that you're having. And I'm going to see if I can intuitively bring anything in. But typically, when I see something like this, and you're like, well, I don't know how such and such is going to happen, so I don't know if I should do such and such. Man, I am so grateful that I never know how something's going to happen. I recognize that the how is not my job. My job is to ask and know that it's going to be given to me. And it's also to allow. And a big part of allowing is not trying to control how something is going to come to me. It's about relaxing into the present moment. It's about anticipating something without having expectations. Right, yes, whenever I'm outside talking about my music career, butterflies hover over me. I acknowledge them and then they fly away. That is beautiful. That is amazing. So that's just my personal spiel. When I get my intuitive reads, it's generally not from my personal experience. It's from spirit. So I've been getting intuitive sensations and visions tonight. So let's see if I can get anything here. Or let's just see what comes through. I'm not going to judge it. So the question was, should I call these executive numbers to record label? Well, I don't know what that means. Let me see if I can get some more. I just want to tell you what I saw right quick. There was like a there was like this little latched journal. It showed me a latched journal. It'd be like just like a regular journal, and it has a latch to it. Um, that doesn't particularly read to me as a contact book, but it could be too. Maybe there's some type of um, it's all in symbology. Non-physical shit is not logical. It's symbolical. I don't know if I just made that word up, but symbolic. Um, and it's symbolic in relationship to the person that's receiving the download. It'll be understood through their experiences. It's like a contact. Let me see if I can get. There's there's like a thing in my ear that I'm hearing. All of these sensations are very new to me, so I. Hmm. You know what? Let me see if I can get some help from this pendulum. Should Tamara call these executives as their next step? And let me be clear, there's no wrong next step, because you're going to learn from whatever you do. And one thing, when you take action and it might seem like a failure, it's actually an opportunity that leads you to the next thing. And it's usually something that you would have never thought of. So my pendulum is saying yes. You take whatever action, right? And it leads you to the next thing. It opens you up to an opportunity that you could have never even thought of. It wasn't something that you would think, oh, I'm going to try and do this thing next. It's usually something that, like, whoa, I would have never thought that this could come into my life like this, that this opportunity could come into my life like this. It seems like one of those situations. My pendulum says yes to call them. I'm going to look at the cards. So there's this aspect here of it's emphasizing being a creator without getting hung up on understanding the specific direction that you need to go in. And this kind of like reminds me of what we were just talking about of the aspect of letting go in the creation process, um, being okay with understanding how you don't know how something is going to come into your life, and um, acting on inspired action. Sometimes when people take action on something and they have the perspective that that thing failed and it didn't work, um, they stop what they're doing because they have judged that situation as a failure instead of seeing it as an opportunity, as something that has the opportunity to bring about uh, it's an opportunity, but they don't see it like that because they see themselves having to move in a specific direction in a specific way, that they've closed out all of the allowing. They don't see this situation as an allow. They don't see this situation as an opportunity, or they don't see the opportunity in it because they're so hyper focused on it looking a specific way. So it's like, for example, even if you were to call these people and, um, maybe you don't get a hold of them or nobody calls you back, that doesn't mean that something went wrong. Later on that day, you could just be chilling and have an inspired thought that, oh, well, I didn't call these people, but I got the idea to call this other person or contact this other person or do this other thing that maybe you wouldn't have thought about if you hadn't allowed yourself to just experience whatever you got yourself into or whatever you chose to go ahead and do. Um, so it's like these cards right now are talking about not losing the creation aspect just because you are perceiving something as a setback. It's not actually a failure, it's an opportunity in a way, um, to allow something to come to you that you could have never logically thought of. Kind of want to look at something right quick. Um, because from the cards that I'm looking at right now, there is this energy here of something that seems like you've been put on the back burner or someone's putting you on the back burner. But that's not for you to take personally. That's not for you to identify with. Um, I just want to read this right quick. It's kind of like an opportunity for you to be like, I wonder where this is taking me now. You may be afraid to take that next step, worried that you do not have the skills to be successful. You are procrastinating, holding yourself back from making your dreams come true. Trust that you have what you need now, and the rest will develop as you progress. That is key. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you just said. Exactly. Let's look at this. Just a second. 7. Connect with your inner strength and willpower to move forward. Your motivation comes from within, not from an external source. That's exactly what I was just saying. When you experience something that you can perceive and judge as a failure, that the experience is not who you are. You are the experiencer. So your judgment of that experience as a failure, that's not for you to identify with. Your motivation comes from within, not from an external source. You cannot control everything. Sometimes it is best to loosen your grip. And I'll read the Empress one since I'm here. Abundance and creativity flows to you. You embody the archetype, this archetype, and are bringing a new project into being. Your divine feminine energy flows through you as you grow and nurture your creations. And all feminine means is being. Feminine and masculine have nothing to do with the concept of gender. You cannot say that such and such brain is either this or that. That's not a thing. Feminine just means that you are being in a space of being and you're using your imagination as the tool that it was meant to be to create your reality. And then you're feeling the feelings as if you were feeling them right now. You're grounding it down into the right now because you got to have that aspect of presence, because the present moment is really all there is. And that's where you have access to source, to your higher being, which is really you, just without all the beliefs and the societal conditionings that you've put on yourself. Um, and that's where creativity comes from. It's not a logic thing. It's not a planning thing. I'm a musician as well. And the only time that I use logic is when I'm in the software, right? And I'm like, how do I do compression again? Oh, yeah, I click this and I click this. It's all mechanical stuff. But none of that goes into my creation process. That's all feeling. Does that shit feel good to me? You know? Um, so exactly what I was saying. I'm not sure like what the tiny journal has to do with this. Um, and it specifically had a latch, something that you would have to unlock. So I don't know what that's all about. This was a fun question. I gotta plug my laptop in. Just a sec. You're gonna see my giraffe crotch right quick. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, dude. There's no wrong anything. And especially since you are in alignment, you're going to learn from whatever you do. And one thing, you don't know how things are going to play out or how one thing is going to lead you to some opportunity that you couldn't have even thought of, literally. So allow it to come to you by not trying to control. Just look at everything as an opportunity. Look at every moment as if you have chosen exactly what's going on right now. All right, Manya. Dude, maybe, yeah. Let's do this. All right. Thank you for your donation, by the way. Tamara, thank you so much for your question and for your donation. I really appreciate it. Yes, yeah, it's a public one. And the chat and everything should be there when you rewatch it. Hi, Oshini. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That is a beautiful name. Alright, so I'm doing donations right now. I appreciate everybody that's here. I know people have been here for a while. We've been on this for an hour and 11 minutes. And I'm just finishing up these donations, and then I'll get back to the chat. And I'm going to give Manya a second to post their questions. And I'm going to sip some tea. I remind you of a Capricorn. I don't know if I have any Capricorn in my chart. It might be one of the outer planets that I do. Okay. Manya, I feel like I'm this constant state of winter in my life. Like I've gotten used to things going wrong. And I'm tired of things being like this. I want a positive shift. Where do I start? So just from reading this question, I totally understand. I understand what you're saying. They like stuckness or things not changing. I really understand. And it wasn't until I started looking at my thoughts and understanding that I am consciousness, that I'm not thought, that I'm not the emotion that comes with that thought. Those are things. And I am the ball of energy that is aware. I am the one that's watching the thought. I am the one that is experiencing the emotion. I'm the experiencer, but I'm not those things. And it was when I started to do that and started to understand that I am consciousness, that I'm awareness, that I started noticing certain thought patterns that had developed within myself from taking on societal conditioning, from accepting certain beliefs, because beliefs are just thoughts that you think over and over. And we basically inflate our ego with these things, whether we subconsciously or consciously agree to them, whether they're put on us subconsciously through societal conditioning or we agree to certain things. And a lot of these thoughts and beliefs are fear-based. And it wasn't until I started to watch my thought, watch the certain thoughts that came across, that I was like, hold up. How long have I been letting this thought become a normalized thing? Because the thoughts that you think and the corresponding feelings that you feel create your reality. And when you are identifying with thought and it happens to be a fear-based thought, one of lack, one of worry, that's what you're going to continuously see. You are like a radio receiver. You are like the most sophisticated radio receiver. And you're putting out a signal with your thoughts and your feeling, most importantly. You're like electromagnetic radiation, radiating this, and it's attracting like. And the law of attraction, the law of resonance, is an inclusive one. That means that when I say, I don't want such and such, it's going to give you more of what you are asking for. So if I'm saying, man, I am so tired of living such and such life, or damn, I'm so lonely, or such and such isn't changing, and that's all I'm thinking about all day, that is what you are attracting. So, how you start going about things in another way is you have to actually identify when that's happening. And that starts with understanding that you are consciousness, that you are awareness, and that you are not thought. And so here I'm gonna post a book right here. I don't know, this person's name is Matt Singer. Untethered Soul. This is a really good book that really helped me understand very easily, one, that everything is energy, and two, that I'm not thought, and that I'm not emotion, and that I am the experiencer of these things, and they're not for me to identify with. So there's that aspect, and there's another aspect where you're also the creator of your life, and you can use your thought to have deliberate thought, not conditioned thought that's just been so normalized within you that you do it without thinking, and it's just been so patterned in you without thinking. You can use deliberate thought to create the life that you want. So you think about the changes that you want as if they're happening right now. And what's most important is that you feel that feeling of it being happening right now. It would feel so joyful. I would feel so relieved. And you feel it right now. So for that, I recommend this channel. I recommend this channel called Detox. So, having said that, I'm going to get into your reading now. And also, Esther Hicks. This book is called Ask and It Is Given. And this book is amazing. Ask and It Is Given. It's basically a guidebook on using your emotions for what they are actually for, which is not for identifying with, but they're a guidance system. When you think a thought and it generates a negative, or when I say negative, I mean it physically doesn't feel good. It generates an emotion that doesn't feel good. That means that you don't need to be thinking about that thought. It means that that thought in particular might not be in alignment with you. And so this is basically a book about how to use your guidance system to your advantage to create your reality in the way that you want it. Conscious creation. Okay, so the question was, where do you start? Where should you start? So I want to pull these cards right quick, and then I want to show you, or I want to tell you what I just saw. Man. Hey, you're gonna love that Roxy Talks. Yep. Okay. Yep. So we've got the Star, the Eight of Cups, and we've got the Seven of Cups in reverse. So first I want to tell you what I saw, because it has to do with these cards. So, like I mentioned before, when everybody is intuitive, we are source, we are divine, whatever you want to call it. And so we're wired to receive information, but it's limiting belief that acts as like a screen to that information, right? So information gets sent to us through our psychic faculties, and it goes through um, your how you experience things as a person, as an individual. So for me, I just saw kind of like these cartoon skulls, right? And I'm a very playful person. Um, and even serious things for me get interpreted in a kind of animated way. So skulls for me represent death. They mean death. And we're talking about a new life here. And what comes with having a new life is the death of the old life, a death of old ways of thinking. So this is exactly what we were talking about when I was describing to you just like my personal experiences with being a conscious creator, and how you can be an unconscious creator when you're allowing your conditioned thought patterns to run your life. Ooh, that's what's up. And what it has to do with these cards here is it's literally talking about, you see this person, there's this whole kind of dramatic aspect of a martyr, of being a martyr, but it's more in the sense of that's kind of what it feels like when you're allowing things to die within yourself, because you have been you're so comfortable with thinking a certain way, and you're so comfortable with creating suffering in yourself, which is to say, continuing to live life via constantly thinking in terms of these conditioned fear-based thought patterns. So it has this dramatic aspect of being a martyr, um, giving yourself up for death. But that's kind of an egoic thing, because when you're moving towards a life of less um, ego, and I want to say more like less negatively inflated ego, less fear-based ego, um, that's actually when your ego hella kicks in and is like, no, we've been living life like this. This is how you programmed me to memorize such and such. This is what's going to keep us safe. This is what we've been doing up to this point. So I'm going to cause resistance. I'm going to be very much in resistance to us moving forward without my say. And when I say my say, I'm talking about the ego, the negatively inflated ego, right? So it feels to your ego like death, because you're, in a sense, you're not living from that egoic space anymore, because you're not making choices and thinking thoughts that are fear-based. You're no longer referencing and trying to use your ego as a tool to foresee what's going to happen in the future. That's not what your ego is for. Your ego is a memory device, kind of like the memory device in your computer. So when you are saying, no, I'm consciousness and I'm awareness and I'm not thought, I am the one that experienced thought, your ego is going to have some pushback because you've been identifying with that as you for so long. And I have some personal experience with this shit. And you're going to hear people talk about this if you haven't heard it already, from people like Esther Hicks, from people like Roxy Talks, from other channelers, from other people that have been doing um, channeling or mediumship, or just even being conscious creators. They have experience being conscious creators. You're going to hear them talk about, even in the book Untethered Soul, you're definitely going to um, read about them talking about how identification with your ego for so long is going to create this pushback. And you now not identifying with that, not identifying with thought anymore, feels like you're dying. And if your ego is going to be like, well, who am I without, who are you then without me? And you might feel like you're going crazy. Um, but you don't have to worry about that. So we also got the star here. And that actually really reminds me of this Eight of Cups. They're both at night, right? And there's this aspect of that kind of goes with the whole archetype of the martyr, where it's like there's also this aspect of hope, of hope for the future, of I'm doing this for some kind of cause, or there's going to be hope for the future because I'm doing this, because I am making this sacrifice. I am transforming into this entity, into this being that is beyond the physical, that is beyond the limitations of logic, beyond the limitations of the ego. Not that the logic or the ego is bad, it just doesn't have any place in transmutation. Transmutation, alchemical transmutation, is um, is really about putting awareness on resistance. It's shifting your awareness on what is not allowing you to be. Um, it's shifting your awareness on whatever is causing resistance within you to not allow you to be a conscious creator. Um, because when you say, for example, that you all of a sudden this thought comes across that you've thought about many times before, and it's a state of victimhood, it brings about a feeling of victimization, of victimhood. Now that you know that you're a conscious creator and you're looking at this thought, all you have to do is look at it. You don't have to fight with it. You don't have to argue with it. You just look at it. You just observe it. And you observe the corresponding victimizing feeling. And it dissolves, because whatever is not in alignment with you dissolves in the light of consciousness. And that's kind of like what this star in the night represents, or what this illumination of the moon represents. The moon itself um, doesn't illuminate. It doesn't illuminate by itself, but it does illuminate because of the sun's light reflecting on it. So that is another way of saying that thought patterns that have nothing to do with who you are as a person, but that create resistance to you living the life that you want to live, um, dissolve within the light or the awareness of your focused, conscious attention to it. And that's what this is talking about. So there is currently this alchemical process taking place. The Seven of Cups in reverse, I think, is a way of is maybe talking about maybe I don't want to say letting go of certain desires that you have, maybe detaching from outcome so you can allow things to come to you. Um, there, it has to do with this aspect of walking away from the old. And I feel like this might be just maybe even a whole completely flopped perspective, like a complete 180 of what is important to you in your life. Because then it's easy to identify what is not important to you. So let me see what this book says about this. Seven of Cups in reverse. You are overwhelmed by choice and are unable to move forward. Reduce your options. I shit you not. Reduce your options and focus on what is truly important to you. Wow. Wow. That's literally what I just said. Well, we all just got slapped in the face by the universe. And I am very grateful. We got a good old slapping around. Damn. I mean, I know I've been saying this throughout the night, but this is what I've been envisioning, like, for months of not being on here doing these readings. Like, this is what I've been envisioning. And it's happening. I made it happen. So, anyways, I've got my giraffe ensemble here. And I think we're ready for the next question. All right, let's do it. Man, this is wild. I'm glad y'all are here. Man, this is crazy. Hey, Sully, thanks for your donation. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to give Manya a second to post their question. I'm going to get through these donations, and I think I'm going to make Sully the last donation. I'm going to make Sully the last donation, and if GD is here, then I will do their question after these donations because I told them that I would do it. And I'm sorry, I can't take any more. I just, I'm not used to all these sensations, and it's just kind of draining. It's very tiring, and I want to play video games. So, GD, you're still here? I'm 100% going to get to your question. I appreciate you for being so patient. All right. That's what's up, Oceany. I am going to get to your question. I believe you are after Lily. Manya, what do I need to bring forth in regards to my rejection wound? I've been left for another person many times, and I'm tired of that story. Dude, I just like speaking to you like person to person right now. Like, I really resonate with that. And I was like subconsciously making that my story for the longest time without realizing it. And I kept getting into situations where I was either getting cheated on or I was getting left by somebody else. And I really I started to identify with the experience and making it my story. And that's when actually it kept appearing in my experiences and in my universe, my reality. And it wasn't until I started to be like, well, what does it mean for me to value myself? And I just Googled it one day, and it said to value yourself is it's intrinsic to you. It's not anything external that you're going to find. It means how well you treat yourself, how highly you think of yourself, how well you talk to yourself. And so I just started changing the way that I was doing those things, even if I had to fake it till I made it in the beginning. Because, we have certain ways of thinking about ourselves that have been so conditioned and so normalized that it's like, well, that's my normal. How could I possibly think anything else? And there are ways to reprogram your subconscious thinking. Um, oh man, I mean, it was rough when I was going through it, but I'm so grateful because it gave me the opportunity to understand how amazing I am, how powerful I am. I wouldn't have known that had I not experienced the contrast of having my reflections being a constant reflection of how much I did not value myself. So, what do I need to bring forth in regards to my rejection wound? I got you. Yes, exactly. Okay, I know what this is about. So this is very much like what we were talking about, what I was just explaining, um, about how we identify with certain experiences and we make it our story. And then now that we've identified with those experiences, that's what we're attracting. And we're going to keep experiencing that, um, whatever the feeling is, in some form, either in a relationship or an experience. Um, I've got the Devil in reversed, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Empress. This is talking about a period of completely cutting ties to having the expectation of that story of people keep leaving me. it makes me feel this way. Um, we get to a point where we get so comfortable with that experience subconsciously, maybe because we don't want to expect anything else to happen because we're afraid of getting hurt. So we get comfortable kind of with suffering in this way. And so this is kind of talking about clearing out the old, looking at patterns that seem to keep coming up in your life, and looking at how am I identifying with this thing? Am I expecting this to happen? What ideas and beliefs do I have that are supporting these experiences that I'm having, that I'm calling into my life? And cutting ties to those things completely. Because this devil is all about being a slave to sometimes subconscious activity, but things that we get normalized to, whether or not we realize it. Um, and it's usually something that feels very comfortable because it initially creates this form of false security. But that's just your ego's fear-based self being like, something bad is going to happen if I expect anything other than this. So the Seven of Pentacles here, this person is clearing away the old and they're tending to new ideas. Um, New experiences that they want for themselves, new ideas, new stories that they're writing for themselves. And we've got the Empress here in never doubting your ability to create, because that's what you are. You're a creator and you create your reality, and nothing can stop you from doing that. It's interesting that these are sitting across from each other because it's often our addictive thinking. Again, that's that comfortable, that false sense of security, comfortable place of pattern of thinking that can block you from even recognizing or realizing that you can create something different for yourself. But it involves um, going against what you have been conditioned to believe, or the stories that you identify with. So let me look at this devil here. Check this out, buddy. Be aware of self-sabotage and self-destructive behaviors. Check this the fuck out. Release any self-imposed limiting beliefs that are standing in the way of your growth and expansion. Right? That's exactly what we just talked about. Let me look at this Seven of Pentacles. Dude, I can't make that shit up. You just watched it here. Live, baby. We're all getting slapped around. And I'm into it. I tell you what, dude. I had no idea that I was going to be doing these readings tonight. I was just in the bathroom brushing my teeth. Maybe like I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth tonight, and then I just had this inspired action, this inspiration. Just go do a reading. I haven't done a reading in months. And it felt very neutral. And then after that inspiration, there was, then the ego came in, the fear-based thought came in. Not very strong, because I've been really working on not identifying with thought. But it was there after I had the inspiration. right? They're not the same thing. They don't come from the same source. That was being like, well, you know what happened last time? You got really freaked out, or you get really agitated. All of this shit that is all past stuff, which is made up, right? The past is never, it's a concept of time. Every moment that you have experienced has been a now moment. It has been a series of now moments. The past is an illusion. So, anyways, I saw that thought, right? And then I was like, well, this is what I've been training myself to do. I've been training myself to observe, and I'm observing this fearful thought. And I just had this inspiration. So I'm going to take action on this inspiration. And this is the product. This is the product. I can't make this up. So, Seven of Pentacles, okay? You are prepared to put in the hard work now and reap the rewards later. You know this is a long-term game, and you may not see immediate results. That is absolutely true. That doesn't matter. You've done what you can. Now it is time to wait patiently for the payoff. Okay? And I want to read this, Empress. Oh, my giraffe leg. Ah. All right. Abundance and creativity flows to you. You embody this archetype and are bringing a new project into being. That's no joke. Your divine feminine energy flows through you as you grow and nurture your creations. And again, masculine and feminine have nothing to do with the concept of gender. Gender, by the way, is just, it's a concept. Just like the concept of time, it's just an idea. But it's not for you to identify with. That's actually what stops you from having access to who you really are, which is limitless, infinite potential and consciousness. You are source energy. Um, Anything that you hardcore identify with, any belief that you hardcore identify with, such as, for example, the idea that is gender, is going to limit you in some way from accessing information from the non-physical. They act as like blinders. Um, Limiting beliefs act as blinders. Okay, so I want to pull one of these before I move to the next donation. And hello everybody that's here. I'm just finishing up the donation list, and then I'm doing one more person after the donation list, and then I've got to wrap it up because man, I'm feeling drained. But that's just kind of, I just haven't done this in a while. So if you want to catch me on the next one, you can subscribe and then hit the bell for when I come on next time. Oh man. Feels crazy. My whole body is just like, I just don't even feel like fully attached to my body right now. Oh, I will. I'm gonna play some video games first. I think so. Or else I'll make some music first. Alright, so this is from Anya. What can they do in regards to, I want to say what you said specifically. What do I need to bring forth in regards to my rejection mood? Okay, what is Manya? What advice do you have for money to bring forth in regards to the rejection mood? We got two. All right. Okay. Okay. What risk can I take today? Okay. Be not mistaken. You will have to take bigger risks than you ever thought possible on this path towards your dreams. And that's what's going to feel like. That's like this martyr thing that I was talking about. You will have to take the big, scary leap. It feels very scary because it's different, but it's the most liberating thing you could ever do for yourself. And if you can relax, try to find ways to relax into the present moment, that's where it's at. But do not fret because your soul has wings. Today's soul action: what risk can you take to move towards your dreams? Make a decision and do it. No more thinking, only doing. Be brave and courageous, and you will discover what you are really made of. The Power of Now. That is another book that I have been wanting to recommend through this stream. Um, Absolutely. It's called The Power of Now by, it's on my bed right now, literally. Uh, Eckhart Tolle. But I really recommend first reading, first read Untethered Soul by Matt Singer. Read that one first. Just my personal recommendation. You do whatever the fuck you want. It's easier to understand than Power of Now. Power of Now is like Untethered Soul on steroids. And you might want some, like, an easier introduction to this, and then get into the fucking details of the shit while on the side watching Roxy Talks and either listening to or watching or reading um, uh, Esther Hicks, Ask and It Is Given, because those folks focus on the aspect of you being a conscious creator, whereas Eckhart Tolle and Matt Singer kind of focus more on understanding that you are consciousness and that you are awareness, and you are not your thoughts and you're not emotion. You're not anything external. You are the observer. All right, and your second card is, not surprisingly, am I focused on what I'm losing or what I'm gaining? Okay. Are you going through some change? Bruh. Are you scared to let go because of what you might lose? Bruh. What if you shifted your focus from what you might lose to what you might gain? Bruh. Endings are actually new beginnings. That's literally takes me back to the beginning of our session just now, where I had the vision of the skulls. That's how we started talking about all of this in the first place, was the new life actually comes from the ending, from the death of the old. Endings are actually new beginnings. That's literally what this says right here, where my finger is. I can't make this up. Today's soul action. I know, right? Today's soul action. Today, make a list of all the things you will gain from the change you're going through. Feel your heart, take a breath, and deepen into trust. Amazing things are coming. And that is no joke, especially with that star card that I saw and the Empress. And you can go back and watch those videos and hear what I had to say about those, and even hear me read from the little booklet or whatever, which is very helpful. I don't mean to like uh, diss it or anything. I love that little book. Man, yeah, that's what I got. Okay, I gotta pee right quick, and then I'm on to Lily's question, dude. Lily, if you want to post your question, I'm gonna pee. Hey, dude. I'm so glad that you came by. I was thinking about you, like when I was getting everything ready, getting everything set up. Still having fear-based thoughts of like, what the hell are you doing setting up? We can't do this. Da 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 da. And you watch this video, dude. Rewatch this if you want. Like, I can't make this up. You're not your thoughts, and you don't have to believe every thought that comes into your peripheral. Okay, I gotta pee right quick. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Ocean is next. Okay, we'll do that. Oh god. Okay, I'm here. Okay. Oceany, is that your question? Is your question, am I a fallen angel? And what do you mean by that? Can you clarify that? Man, what a night. I saw my wing gushing blood one day when I was 17, when I was saying prayers at the temple. He used to be religious. That's very interesting. Let me just see intuitively what's going on here if I can, okay? It's interesting that you mentioned religion, because from what I was seeing, there are aspects about maybe your past life or maybe even your current life that have had not good experiences with religion. Um, I'm giving people the cold shoulder. Left side wing, precisely. I'm not entirely sure what the significance is of the experience that you had of the wing gushing blood when you were 17. But from what I did see, there are interesting ties um, to who you are as a being and your experiences here on earth and your experiences with religion not being so great, not being accepted, being, it feels like indoctrinated, which I used to feel grace and light. You can feel those things. Hey, everybody coming in. You can feel those things. You don't necessarily need um, religion or somebody else um, telling you how to live your life in order for you to feel empowered, in order for you to know or experience that you are the creator, that you are the source. So I guess I'm just trying to understand, what is it that you are looking for to understand? Maybe I will pull some cards for you. Let's do that. I've got these really cool life purpose cards. All right, this is for Oceany. I've closed all of the lists because I gotta end the stream. I'm getting pretty tired. But if you have a question, you can definitely subscribe and hit the bell for when I come on next. And I'm just pulling a couple cards for Oceany right quick. Messages. All right, so Oceany, I pulled some cards for you, and here's what came out. Animals. You understand animals and communicate with them intuitively. Trust your inner guidance, as animals are a part of your life's work. You've also got heart's desires. The angels are supporting, guiding, and protecting you as your dreams become a reality. You also here have the options card. Consider the career possibilities that are open to you. So it seems like you have a connection with animals that is very conducive to your life. And also you have a lot of options, and they are directly tied to things that make you feel fulfilled, and that is being supported by the universe, uh, which is excellent. You feel free to act on those things. These are some things that might come as limiting or might not feel like you have access to those things if you don't feel like you're worthy. So, do I believe that I am worthy? You are worthy. You are deserving. You are loved. Start seeing the divine beauty within you and go out and claim the life you have dreamt up. Your crown has been bought and paid for. Put it on your head and wear it. Today's soul action. For a big goal or dream you have, ask yourself, do I feel worthy of this? Today's mantra, I am worthy of it all. And you also got, am I clear on what my soul really wants? Because once you make a decision, the universe supports what you're doing. Then it's easier to do the doing. Take out the shoulds and the limitations. Get out of your head and pay attention to your heart's desires instead. If you knew it was impossible to fail, what would you do? Wherever you go, go with all of your heart. It, again, is like resonating with this heart's desires. Um, Today's soul action. Ask yourself what it is your soul really wants. What does your heart crave? Then take one step in that direction. I hope that helped, Oceanie. I appreciate your donation. I really appreciate your question. Or just you being here. All right, Lily. That's what's up. You're ready, dude. What should I know about Ovi's intentions towards me? He was my lover and we worked together. Sometimes we understand very well, but other times he's very rude. I got you. So sometimes you are copacetic and cohesive, and other times it's like very opposite. Okay, let me see if I can pull something. It's like he's trying to meet you in the middle, but there's like a hardness to him. Or, yeah, you said him. There's like a rigidness. That's what I mean. Let me pull some cards here. He's trying to meet you at a point. I think that's their intention. But they are very square. But in a 3D sense. So what do I mean by that? It's like they're trying to expand, but they're so rigid in a sense. They're trying to meet you at a point, but it's like at a point that this other person has defined. It's like, I'll only meet you so far if it's on my terms, if it's within my box. So I don't know if that's what it feels like, but that's the image that I got. So I'm going to pull some cards. What are Ovi's intentions towards Lily? And you are worth... Yeah, I am worth it. Man, what a great night. Ovi's intentions towards Lily.
Family business. Oh, is this sloppy lunch stuff? The other mission? Okay, there's sloppy joes, family business, double trouble, old ribs, and big carrot.
It's like from this box,
Did you miss a fire?
he's able to observe and sustain himself, but at the same time kind of keep other people out. He doesn't want to do that with you. He doesn't want to. It's but it's also it feels like that's just what he has to do right now. That's kind of where he's at. I think it's kind of like a more intrapersonal thing where he's kind of more focused on um, either his material development, either in the way of finances or maintaining individuality. Maintaining individuality is very important for this person right now. And it could sometimes have to do with um, manifesting money or physical things as a result. Um, but I think what he's after is the feeling of independence. And when you have somebody in that space, and then you have another person that is trying to like latch on, the other person is going to be like, hell no, hell no. I like you, but I love my independence. And my independence is what I'm focused on right now. That's where this person is at very much. It's not really has anything to do with you. It's not really having to do with you unless it's like if your energy is this kind of latching energy and it's trying to mix with this person who is very focused on being independent, if the person is getting very focused on this and they're trying to get very comfortable with this, and it's just it doesn't mix well. But that's not to say that he is not interested in having something with you. This person here is very independent, right? They have this bird here though on their hand to kind of they use them as a tool to kind of like so they can fly around and see what's going on around their box. And then report the news back to them, right? So it's like, is everything out there safe? What's going on out there? Is everything out there cool? Okay, cool, because I'm in here and I'm just like really reaping the benefits of being an independent person right now. It's kind of like that. This is a powerful time for inspired action channeled through your authentic self. Be open to possibility and stay true to yourself. Have faith and trust in the universe, and you will share in its gifts and blessings. So it's interesting because this person is coming from this very comfortable space of independence, but there's also this aspect of having this providing aspect socially feels this social responsibility to connect and to provide and to be there. So that's kind of where this person is at. I think that they are interested in kind of like trying to allow you to be a part of their life, part of that process. But not all energies mix well together. Let me see. Let me pull some lovers cards. Any other information about Ovi's intentions towards Lily? Oh man, what a great night. All right, you've said, I feel like this person is trying to keep me in a cage. Okay, remember when we first started talking about this, and I was like, I'm having this vision of this person's trying to meet you at a point, but only if they have defined that point. Because what I saw was like, I said this person is a square, but it's more of like a cube. It's more of like a 3D square, because it's like this person is trying to expand, but they are limiting in how they go about doing this. It's like they'll try to meet you to a point, but only as far as they have defined. This person brings with them this, the cage that you're talking about reminded me of the cube that I saw in my mind. It's very limiting, and they will expect people to kind of behave or be conditioned to think the same way as them. And so that's where this jealousy and this trying to keep me in a cage thing might be coming from. So the first card you got from this Lover's card is religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Hey Aquafina, I love your name, but the list is closed for the night. Feel free to subscribe and hit the bell for when I come back on. You also got reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Right? So you don't need to get caught up in this person's conditioning and expectations, and that's fine. They want to live their life. That doesn't mean that you need to be doing what they're doing or what they want you to do. You can step back from this person and things still come together behind the scenes without you having to know how it's going to happen. And with this reconciliation and this worth waiting for, I would bet that that's probably the case here. So if you're feeling controlled, that's not the tea. Take a step back from this person. You know, that doesn't mean that it's the end. All right. Uh, I'm I'm going to take Shatea because I'm going to take Shatea and then I'm going to do GD and then that's it. That's all I can do right now. I'm zooted. Hey, thanks for your question, Lily, and thank you for your donation. Okay, Shatea, you want to go ahead and post your question? And GD, if you're still here, why don't you go ahead and post your question, buddy?
We need more games like this for guests like this.
Fuck, did Sully donate? Oh, Sully's here. All right, Sully, you can post your question too. That's okay. Everybody who donated, and including GD, can post their question, and I'll just answer it or see what I can do. Oh no, y'all are okay. I'm just zooted. What's Philip's thoughts, feelings, and intentions towards me? Okay. Okay. It's all good. I'm glad. I'm so grateful for this night, and I'm grateful that y'all are here. Yeah. This person seems kind of timid. Yeah. It seems like this person is kind of timid to take whatever next step, or if they're trying to do something with you or go somewhere with you or trying to create something with you. It seems like this is something that they want to do, but they seem timid. They seem like not sure of themselves. And so it's difficult trying to create something with somebody else. It's by yourself is one thing, and then when you include another person, it's a whole other thing. Because then you're thinking about how is this person going to react? How are they going to respond? Do I have what it takes? All these like self-doubt things, and they can kind of uh, be showing this kind of tension going on within themselves, either by acting recklessly or trying to be spontaneous, but it's like forced, or it's like they're not doing anything at all, and they're not taking any action steps because they are either they don't trust themselves to move forward, or they're kind of like waiting for something to give them permission to move forward. I see this person is when I was shuffling the cards, I saw the Ace of Pentacles, and there's a hand that's like, or I don't know if it was the Ace of Pentacles, but I saw a hand just kind of like timidly trying to give something to someone, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm just gonna leave this here and just see what happens. There was like this timidness about it, and that's the kind of same thing that I'm getting here. Um, so it's like this person is trying to either decide what they want to do, what's the best course of action for them. They have these ideas and these desires and these passions, and it's in relationship to you, because I asked about you. But it's like, um, he's left for someone else. Yeah, it's like, what do I do about this type thing? It's kind of in uncomfortable and kind of an unsure place to be. So let me see here. You can feel the stirrings of something new emerging within you, but you don't know how to turn it into action. You may be on an intense spiritual path, preferring to keep this journey private, personal, and intimate. So yeah, maybe what they're experiencing, they are feeling some tension about it. And it's like, how do I move forward with this person and also maybe with you? Not sure how to go about moving forward with this. It's 2 of Wands. You know what you want to manifest. You know now you need to work out how. So there's this aspect of like how. You are exploring all options and planning your path ahead before taking action. Let your intuition and passion guide you as you confirm your next steps. Yep, yeah. Yeah, we have this Knight of Wands in reverse. You may be acting impulsively, trying to accomplish everything at once. This may work in the short term, but long term you could end up burning yourself out or not achieving your goals. You need to constructively channel this build-up energy. That's exactly what I just talked about. So that's kind of this person's energy. And, it might not be the best energy if you're uh, trying to have something. Well, I don't know what your relationship to this person is, but I don't know if there are like burned bridges there, and that's the reason why all of these fire elements are out here, or it's a hot topic, or something symbolic like that. Let me pull some lovers cards here before I move on. Anyways, I wouldn't trust that this person knows what they're doing, which is fine. I just wouldn't bank on it. It's a little chaotic. Let me see here. Any advice for Sully about their in relationship between them and their ex? Wait, what's this? Philip.
Yeah, we need some of the outside things. Do a little traffic to the restaurant. Oh, good. Here's chat. Look at that. Oh, welcome to the restaurant.
Your love life is being affected by children. And it's interesting because this Page of Wands here is often symbolic of, it can be symbolic of children, but everybody is a child, really. You're still your kid self. Sometimes it can be taken symbolically as somebody acting like a child, but in like an insult kind of way, saying that this person isn't very mature. Love yourself first. This is really what I feel like this reading is about. It's not really about them. I think this is about you. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Good night, Manya. Peace out, dude. Have fun in dreamland. Deception. Someone is wearing a false self-mask. A false self-mask in this relationship. So like I said, like I wouldn't put my bets on this person. You know what I'm saying? They seem to have a lot going on. That's a little chaotic. And I really want to hit it home. This love yourself first thing. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. I think this reading is really more about you. All right, Sully. Hey, thanks for your donation. Thank you for your question. All right, so I am on to Shatea. We made it. And then GD, you are right after Shatea, dude. And then I'm out, baby. You're welcome, Sully. I hope that gave you some clarity. Wow, this night has been amazing. General reading for Shatea. Let's do it. GD, I'm so glad that you asked. I am going to play Banjo-Kazooie, I believe. I recently downloaded an emulator on my laptop, and it was really easy to install. And I found GD. I actually had the tab up. It's called Nintendo Wii ROMs Free. Actually, that's just the name of the tab. It's called emulatorgames.net. And they have all of the games on like N64 and Sega and Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Wii, and you can play them on your computer. So I've been playing Banjo-Kazooie because I loved N64. Yo, that's what I was thinking, GD. And then I started to allow myself to play them again and just like relax and really fully be present with them. And it's just done wonders for other aspects of my life. You know? Highly recommended. Alright, so this is a general for Shatea. I'm watching some gameplay right now. I watch gameplay like pretty much all day. It's this person Raptor Games that plays all these like sim games. I love sim games. Okay. Alright, Shatea, you got some things going on here. Okay. Shatea's got some things going on. I haven't played Uncharted, but I've watched gameplay for I think the first two. Uncharted is great, dude. Yeah, Shatea, I see that you have some things going on. Might be a little bit of a rough ride right now. I'm actually gonna kneel now. It feels better to kneel on the ground. this right here, what I have so far, is it's talking about
Holy crap, we made that. And you made it. Good impression.
it's talking about leaving a situation or a way of thinking or a place that you once were very comfortable with to kind of build your own empire, to kind of lean more into your own wisdom, to be in your own dominion. Uh-huh. This is talking about being a conscious creator. And what I mean by that is it's hard to be a conscious creator when you are in, you know, a either a physically abusive situation, a mentally abusive situation, an emotionally abusive situation, um, either with another person or with yourself. If that's how you're treating yourself. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of beliefs that we um, get conditioned to accept, and they are very limiting when it comes to then trying to create our reality, because that's what we are. We're creators of our reality. And so what I see happening here is the pain and the frustration and also the liberation that is experienced when you move away from things that no longer serve you. Yes, and this includes moving away from people that don't serve you. Um, you are really, really stepping into, I say dominion, but what it means for you to finally start listening to yourself, to your inner wisdom, which you have a lot of, and that will allow you to. Okay, you see this person here. Their finger is going like this, and they have this tool here, and this is being like, there's a saying called as above so below, and it means that what you imagine is what you ground down into your physical experience. So spirit is coming down through here, and they use their physical tools to ground it down into their physical experience. It's just symbolic. What it means is that you are relying either on your own wisdom, or you have really changed and shifted um, the ways in which you have been thinking to incorporate ways of thinking that are more in alignment with you being a creator, with you creating the life that you want, that is feels better, that is more conducive to you, and you are fully in charge of that. It's like you're realizing that you are fully in charge of that. It's very powerful. These very powerful movements. This is like the physical aspect of creation, and this is like the spiritual aspect of creation, which is means doing, taking action from inspiration, from spirit. So um, being is different than doing. Being is like, I'm being present. I'm uh, not thinking thoughts. It's not something that I'm trying. There's nothing that I'm trying to do. I am just being present, and I'm waiting for inspired action. Right? That's this. And then you get the inspired action and you take action on that. So that's really what feminine and masculine mean. Feminine means that you are being, you're just being present. You're not thinking anything, you're not trying to do or act. You're waiting for inspiration from your inner wisdom, from spirit, and then you take action on those things. It can be a difficult time moving away from things that no longer serve you, that are hurtful to you. And that seems to be what's going on. But it's really not until we recognize this type of difficult contrast that we become aware of our inner power. Yes. The anxiety. I would recommend because there is anxiety that comes with or there can be anxiety that comes with moving away from old thought patterns that don't serve you, moving away from older people that no longer serve you. And the anxiety sometimes that we feel, I'm just going to speak from personal experience going through something similar, is I am no longer identifying with certain ways of thinking that I was so comfortable with before. So what you can do is, if you don't meditate already, I would try doing that. And the reason why I say that is because meditation, it can be used as a tool. It's not for everybody. Everybody has their own uh, um, way of grounding themselves that resonates with them. Meditation is just a tool that you can use to stop thought. And the reason why that is important is because we get conditioned to identify with thought. We think that we are the thoughts that come across, but thoughts and their corresponding emotions that they generate are just things. And we are the experiencers, we are the observers of thoughts and emotions. We're watching those things. So we're not them. There's no way we could be those things because we're the ones watching them. We're the ones experiencing them. So when you meditate, you finally shut off this incessant thought. Because beliefs are just thoughts that we think over and over and over until they become normalized within us. And then when we start to see them for what they are, and we're like, wait, I don't actually agree with this. I don't actually accept this as something that is conducive to me. Well, you've already programmed your ego to be comfortable with this way of thinking. So, as a way of protecting you, it's going to try and resist anything other than what you have already programmed it to do. So, when you're moving away from when you're reprogramming your mind, basically, and getting on board with new beliefs and getting rid of old beliefs, there's going to be resistance there, and it usually comes up in the form of anxiety. Also, old traumas that have not been processed, people that you have not forgiven, that's going to come up in the form of anxiety because you're not allowing it to pass through your heart. Your heart is a tool. It's a very, very powerful tool, very different than the ego. The ego is just a memory device. The heart is actually something that processes emotional information, that processes trauma, that transmutes pain into basically a part of you that you were disconnected with in resistance to becoming back whole to yourself. I really recommend checking out Fragmentation by Teal Swan. Teal Swan is this person on YouTube that talks a lot about anxiety. And they talk about this concept called fragmentation. And basically, fragmentation is something that we experience when we go through trauma, and then we don't process what we experienced. Um, and basically, the trauma gets stuck in parts of your body, and it can close your heart. But spiritual information and inspiration gets tries to come through your heart, because your heart is a transmitter. It transmits psychic information so that you can understand it in a physical sense. But when it's closed, it's like closing a valve that nothing can get through. So there are exercises that you can do to recognize these parts of you that you have been disconnected with. That really all they need is your attention. They just need your attention. And there are parts of you that need something from you that you have not been giving them. And a lot of times, this is how anxiety can build up too. So, Fragmentation by Teal Swan. I also very much recommend this book by Matt Singer. And I think it might even be a free PDF, or it's like free on YouTube or something, as like an audible book called Untethered Soul. I'm typing it right now. And this book, oh man, it's amazing. It's helped me so much um, in understanding that we, as energetic beings, are consciousness. We are awareness. We are the observers of the things we experience. We are not the actual experience. We do not need to identify with thought. We don't need to identify with certain beliefs, because beliefs are just things that you think over and over and over until they become normalized to you. You can just watch these thoughts come into your peripheral, and you can watch the feeling, the corresponding feeling that you experience in your body. And that's all you have to do, is just watch it. You don't need to argue with it. You don't need to try and do anything about it. You just need to watch it. And that's how you start to disidentify from your ego. Okay. So I'm going to pull some of these right quick and see what else Spirit has to say. Because you really, even though I know that the process can feel very anxiety driven, a lot of times that's just resistance. You're trying to make these changes because you're noticing certain things don't feel good, and certain thoughts that you're having don't feel good. Certain people in your life that you used to feel comfortable around, it doesn't feel good to be around them. Changes are going to bring up resistances, um, because you've been doing and you've programmed yourself to do and feel things a certain way for a long time. So it would be like if I had a clear little vase, little bottle, right? And there was like sand and dirt at the bottom, and it was filled with water, right? And if I just hold this thing up to the light can get through it, right? But if I start to shake this vial up, now there's all of this shit from the past has been drudged up, and all of this shit that has been untouched until now is now all over the place. And that's kind of what it feels like. But eventually, you just keep looking at it, and you're just aware of it, you're aware of it, and the vial becomes clear. And then spiritual information is able to get through once again. and you're able to just have energy flowing through you, and you're able to just kind of vibe with life. All right, so any more information for Shatea? Any advice for Shatea? Mm-hmm. Because it's interesting. I know you're saying you're having anxiety, and I 100% don't doubt that. But these are just such hardcore cards of you coming into power. It's not even funny, dude. That's where you're headed. So we got a couple cards here, okay? How can I deepen my trust right now? Trust, surrender, let go of the wheel. You can trust. You can trust yourself fully. Trust fully in yourself so that you can deepen your trust in others. Trust creates safety, and when we feel safe, we feel unstoppable. Yes. Today's soul action, let go and trust. Today, find your center in the chaos and be certain with yourself so you can deepen your trust in others. 100%. 100%. Am I ready to let go of this buried shame? The feeling of shame is the lowest energy frequency there is. When you live in shame, you live in darkness. What part of you is ready to stand in the light? Is there any shame from a past experience that is ready to be healed? Literally what we've been talking about. Today's soul action. Heal the shame by giving it a name. Bring awareness to it. That's what we've been talking about. Bring it to the light and let it be seen, heard, and healed. It's revival season. Replace the shame with your soul's truth. Fill in the blank. I hear you. I hear you. Ooh, shame. That's another good one to look up by Teal Swan. They have a whole video on shame. Fill in the blank. My soul's truth is blank. Okay? And you got one more here. Where am I being called to use my voice right now? You have a soul script that was written to be spoken. Your story matters, and it's time for you to share it with the world. Today's soul action. Share your story with at least one person today. Be brave and speak your truth. Your voice will be the catalyst for healing in others. And I feel like that's what you're doing with me right now, right? You're talking with me about this right now. All this can do from this point out is literally be alchemically transmutated into clarity, into healingness, into consciousness, into awareness, into light. That's what's going to happen from here on out, even though right now it might feel really shitty. That's, from my personal experience, to be expected, especially if you're at the beginning stages of, just trying to change any type of conditioned mindset and any situation that you've felt comfortable in for a long time that doesn't serve you. There's going to be that shakeup there. So definitely check out that Teal Swan shame video too. It's really good. All right, Shatea, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate your question. I appreciate you being here. GD, are you here, buddy? Last one. It's been almost 3 hours, dude. And you've been here since the beginning. I appreciate you. Thank you, Shatea.
Okay, let's see. Gregory is the name after Mark.
All right, buddy. What's your question? Dude, it was my pleasure. I'm glad we could connect. Okay, so let's see what's going on. What's coming towards you and G's relationship. Okay. Oh, my toes are cramping.
The employees going back to school bench doesn't break. Not necessarily break it, go outside, chill out, to watch a YouTube video. Maybe they'll subscribe to the channel. Maybe they'll hit the like button. They have names and not numbers. Yeah, we should just give them employee numbers. Ooh, Artonic, incredibly fast circle.
So, I don't know what your history is with this person, but apparently it's important to them because they're not letting some stuff go. Yeah. They are pretty hooked on the past right now. They are not allowing things to transform and allowing something new to come about the communication. They are definitely harboring some either some feelings from the past or a thought process that came out of the past. And it looks to me kind of self-inflicting. They've kind of like lost themselves in what it feels like to identify with this situation from the past, with this whatever came out of this. I don't know if y'all's relationship was codependent, but there's something here about not wanting to let go of. It's something that they feel chained to, but it's kind of transformed into something that they kind of keep private, I think. They keep themselves chained to this old pattern of thinking, or, it could be like something they didn't want to forgive, something that they don't want to acknowledge as ended, but something certainly ended. So it's like they're attached to reliving it. Let me see. She was so codependent on me in the past, and then she broke it off because she didn't get what she wanted. Yeah, that's pretty much what this feels like. This Eight of Pentacles here. Let me see. What was I saying about that? Oh, yeah. Things that have spoiled, certain habits that have kind of blown out of proportion, and taking things personally. And let me see what this little book has to say about the Eight of Pentacles. They're kind of still stuck and chained to old ways of thinking and feeling, and whatever they experienced with you, they're still kind of in that same it's like an addictive nostalgia that's not conducive. You are focused on creating perfection, but to your detriment. When you focus on every tiny detail, you lose sight of the bigger picture and why you're doing this in the first place. Know that perfection is a myth and surrender to the art of imperfection. It's very much, let me see. I'm still romantic. You know, I'm definitely getting emotional, but I'm not getting romantic. I'm getting kind of nostalgic, but like in an addictive type of way. Um, there's nothing like free flowing about it. It's very underneath a very uh, limited perspective. It's in a very, she observes the relationship in a very limited, narrow point of view. What did this thing say? Let's see. Right, cannot see the bigger picture. Can't see the bigger picture. Self-sabotage, self-destructive behaviors, self-imposed. That was something that I said in the beginning. And release any self-imposed limiting beliefs. Yeah, and then death reversed. You are experiencing deep inner change, letting go of an aspect of yourself that is no longer serving you and making way for something greater. Do not resist change. So they are kind of struggling with this kind of narrow point of view, and also at the same time, this death card is a transition no matter what. You know, it's taking place no matter what. It's a matter of how open and allowing are you to this. Let's do the romance angels. I'm not gonna say no, because this person could change their perspective tomorrow, you know, and become more consciously aware of the ways in which they've been thinking. You never know. That's the fucking joy, because it's not our job to try and figure out how something is going to happen. Our job is to ask and to imagine and to allow. Any messages about GD and their relationship with their person? Okay. So, I'll tell you what I got. Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Okay? Enjoying this moment fully is something that works in tandem with using your imagination to manifest. The more you are going about your day not being present, aka living in the future by worrying about this and that, or living in the past, grieving this and that, the more you are going to attract those things. So you stay present and be fully enjoying every single moment as if you have chosen that moment just as it's happening. And then when you feel like it, you can use your imagination to imagine what it would be like if you were having positive interactions with this person. What would it feel like? And feel those things as if it were happening right now. That's how you ground that into the present moment. And that's how you use both of those things as creative tools. We also got chemistry. There is a strong magnetic attraction here. Okay, so that's no doubt. Trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. Okay? All right, dude. That's all I got right now. I'm hella zooted. GD, I appreciate you so much for being here and hanging out and being patient. And yeah, dude, I just appreciate all y'all for being here. It was an amazing night. And I'm ready for bed. So, I hope all of you have a great rest of your night or day or afternoon, wherever you are. Dude, I appreciate you too. That's what's up. Hey, yeah, if you're interested in more like conscious creation stuff, I really recommend Oxy Talks. This person is really cool. You can just find them on YouTube because they know what the fuck they're doing, because they also talk about the importance of being present throughout your day so that you're not constantly going about your day in a state of worry, because that's all you're going to attract if that's what you're doing. You've really got to try to relax into the present moment. And then when you feel like it, when it feels good to you, imagine what it is that you want. And then feel those feelings as if you're feeling it right now. And that's exactly what this person talks about. And they're just fun to watch. They're very inspiring. Oh my God. All right, everybody. Thanks for an amazing night. And I love you all. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell for when I come on next time. And I appreciate y'all. Peace out, baby.
I don't think there's an amount that, there's a threshold